Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Knight here, and I am coming back at you again today, people, with a brand new Fortnite video. And in today's video, I'm going to be ranking every battle pass we currently have in Fortnite. I haven't done this video since last season, and now that we're a little bit of ways into Season 7, I personally think that it's probably a good time for me to give my full thoughts on this battle pass and see where it ranks among all the others. So if you do enjoy them, please feel free to leave a big fat thumbs up and subscribe. That'd be greatly appreciated. And with that said, let's just jump right into it. Alright, so one key thing to mention before we start this, everyone, I'm actually going to be trying out a new sort of scoring system. Basically what I'm going to do is for every battle pass, I'm going to give a rating out of 10 to every skin, and then average the rating out to give the battle pass a final score, and then that score will determine where it places on the ranking. And if they're tied, then I'll just go for my personal preference of which I want to be above the other. But anyways, with all that said, now let's get into the actual list. Alright, so starting off our list at the number 17 spot. Yes, you heard that right, 17. That does mean there is going to be one extra entry than what people usually do, and that's because I wouldn't be including the seasonal shop from Season 1, because in my opinion, that was sort of like the battle pass of that season. And speaking of which, that's actually going to be our lowest position. Yeah, 2 skins, first of all, just get that out of the way. That alone makes it really bad. But not only does it only have 2 skins, but those 2 skins are very boring. Literally defaults. That is what they are. They are literally default. Aerial Assault Trooper is a default with the helmet. 5 out of 10. Renegade Raider, a default with a hat and some stupid face paint. Also 5 out of 10. Therefore, the seasonal shop averages out at a 5 out of 10, therefore giving it the lowest spot. Alright, now moving on to our number 16 spot, we have an actual battle pass here. It's going to be Season 5 of Chapter 1. Now, it has 2 awesome skins, Drift and Ragnarok. Everything else, though, is just garbage. So, Drift, obviously, 10 out of 10 skin. Huntress, that gets a 4 in my opinion. Worst tier 1 skin ever. Redline, just a really, really bad knockoff of Burnout in my opinion. 6 out of 10. 4 out of 10 for Sunstrider. 7 out of 10 for Sledgehammer. I don't think he's that bad, but still not great. Rook gets a 7 out of 10 as well. Again, just kind of a boring skin. And I would say a 7 out of 10 is probably a little bit generous. Ragnarok, obviously, that's getting a 10 out of 10. And then the Enforcer, a pretty dull looking bonus skin, so I'm going to give that a 6. So when you add it all up, all that averages out for a 6.7 out of 10, therefore placing it pretty low on the list. Alright, now moving on to our number 15 spot. This is definitely going to be the most controversial one on the list. It's going to be Chapter 2, Season 7, our current battle pass. Now, I know a lot of people love this one, and if you do, you are completely entitled to your own opinion. That is perfectly fine. But I personally am just not really loving this battle pass, and there's only a few skins in here that I personally think I would actually ever use. So starting off, we have Chimera. Obviously, one of the best tier 1 skins of all time. 10 out of 10 for that one. Can't give it anything else. Sunny, I'm still just not really digging the whole I hate humanity vibe. And I also just think the skin aesthetically looks kind of boring. So 6 out of 10 for her. Gugimon, honestly, the more I see it, the more I hate this one. I personally just think this is a really bad battle pass skin. So yeah, 5 out of 10 for him. Joey, it's grown on me a little bit. The alien style definitely isn't bad, but I still don't think it should be a legendary skin. So I'm going to give that one an 8. Zig, the shaping is weird, but the design is cool, so therefore it's been growing on me, and I'm going to give that one an 8 as well. Dr. Sloan, it's alright. The battle armor is kind of cool, but the colors are just very boring with it, so I'm going to give that one a 7. Rick Sanchez, worst tier 100 skin ever, and honestly, just for someone like me who doesn't care about the show or the character, I just think he's a dull looking skin. 5 out of 10. And then finally we have Superman, which is honestly a really cool looking DC skin. I'm going to give that one a 9. So all those numbers added up and then divided by 8 battle pass skins in total, that is going to give you an average of 7.25 out of 10 per skin, which again, not the best rating, so it comes in at number 15. Alright, now moving on to our number 14 entry. This is going to be another pretty controversial one. It's going to be Chapter 2, Season 2. Again, if you love this one, then there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. But again, there's just not really a lot in this one that excites me. So at tier 1, we have Gear Specialist Maya. I'd probably give that one an 8. Probably our weakest legendary tier 1 skin we have. It's not bad, but still, like, it probably shouldn't be a legendary skin given the, you know, it's just kind of a, not the most extravagant design ever, but it did have some pretty cool customizability. Agent Peely, Yeah, this one is probably my least favorite in this entire Battle Pass, just because of the fact that it shouldn't have been a Battle Pass skin, in my opinion. It should have been released in the item shop. I'm going to give that one a 6. Brutus, I probably give that one a 6 as well. Just kind of a boring looking skin. Again, I know it has its fans, but just not one for me. Teeny Tina, same goes for her. 6 out of 10 skin. Doesn't really appeal to me. Meowscles, I'd probably give that one an 8. I would actually say that's probably one of the better meme skins we have in the game. Sky, she's been growing on me a little bit. I'm going to give her a 7. Some people probably think that that's a little bit low, but I think she's fine. Nothing wrong with her. She's alright, just not the best. Midas, that's a 10. Awesome tier 100 skin. Cool James Bond villain. And then finally we have Deadpool, the bonus skin, which is... I'll admit, I am a little bit bored of seeing it in-game, but I mean, come on, it's Deadpool. I'm going to give that one an 8. So, overall, everything averages out for a 7.375 out of 10, which isn't the worst rating, but it's definitely far from the best. Alright, now moving on to our number 13 entry. This is going to be Chapter 2, Season 1. Now, it does beat out Season 2, but not by a very big stretch. So first off, we need to talk about the 2 tier 1 skins this season. Turk vs. Riptide and Journey vs. Hazard. Both of these are some of the most disappointing and just lackluster tier 1 skins I think we've ever seen. So I'm going to give Journey a 6 and Turk a 5. And then we have Remedy vs. Toxin, which I actually kind of like. I think it's probably one of the stronger skins of the Battle Pass, mainly because of that Toxin style with the mask. So I'm going to give that one an 8. Ripley vs. Sledge is a solid meme skin, one of my personal favorites in that category. So I'm going to give that one a 7. Next up we have Cameo vs. Chic, I think is how you say it. Probably a 6, just not really digging any of those styles for her. And then we have 8-Ball vs. Scratch, which I'm giving a 9, but only because of that Corrupted Scratch style. Otherwise it'd probably get like a 7 or something. But Corrupted Scratch, an awesome skin. And then we have Fusion, which is obviously a 10 out of 10. In my opinion, a very underrated tier 100. And then finally we have Serana, the secret skin, which although it's not great and definitely doesn't deserve to be a legendary skin, I don't think it's that bad. I think it actually is worth running from time to time, so I'm going to give her an 8 as well. So a little bit of boring math later, and then you add all that up to get a final score of 7.375 out of 10, which is actually exactly what we got for Season 2. However, I decided to give a slight edge to this one, just because I find myself using the skins in it a little bit more. Alright, and now for number 12, I give this one to the original Season 4. This is definitely, in my opinion, one of the most split-ended Battle Passes, just because it has some of the all-time greats in here, but then a lot of the other stuff is just kind of garbage. So, to start off, of course, we have Carbide, one of the best tier 1 skins in my opinion, and a very underrated tier 1 skin at that. Not as good as Omega, but I still think he is a very, very awesome skin that deserves some more love, so I'm going to give him a 10. And then we have Battlehawk, which... oh, maybe he hasn't aged all that well, but I do think he's also actually a little bit underrated. You know, kind of got that cool army vibe going on there. So, not amazing, but I think he deserves a little bit better than what people give him. So, I'll give him a 7. Then you got Technique, which is just kind of an uninteresting, bland skin to me. So, I'll give her a 6. Then you got Zoe, which is one of my least favorite skins of all time, even to this day. So, I'm going to give that a 4. And then you got Valor, which... probably doesn't deserve legendary status, but I don't think it's that bad. You know, the Fortnite knockoff of Wonder Woman. I'm going to give that one an 8. And Squad Leader, same goes for him that went for Battlehawk. I'll give him a 7 as well. And then you got Omega, which is my favorite Battle Pass skin of all time, so I kind of have to give him a 10 by default. And then you got the Visitor, which I would actually say is another pretty underrated skin. Not the best legendary skin ever, but I do, you know, kind of appreciate him for the design and for the role he's been playing in the storyline, so I think I'm going to give him an 8. And so then, all that added up, you get a final score of 7.5 out of 10 for Season 4, which places it here at number 12. Alright, and now moving on to our number 11 spot. This is going to be the original Season 2. Now this one's kind of weird to rank because it only has 4 skins in it, but I'm not going to deduct any points on it for that, because it is the first ever Battle Pass that they ever made. So first off, we got the Blue Squire, and then you also got the Royal Knight. This is going to seem weird, but I'm actually going to give Blue Squire a 6 and Royal Knight a 7. I don't know, I personally just think that the design works a little bit better on the female skin, so I'm going to give her an extra point for that. Then you got Sparkle Specialist, which I would say is solid, probably deserves around an 8. And then you get the Black Knight, which is overrated, but still, I mean, it's the very first legendary skin in the game, so you do have to give it a little bit of credit, and I mean, just the very concept of it does make it pretty cool, so I think I'm going to give him a 9. Not a 10 out of 10 like most tier 100s, but it's still good. So, add it all up, and then you get a final average score for 7.5 out of 10, which places it around the middle section of our list here. Alright, and now moving on to our number 10 spot. This is going to be what, in my opinion, is a pretty underrated Battle Pass. It's going to be Season 6 of Chapter 1. Now, granted, there definitely are some very garbage skins in here, but there's also some ones that I would actually say are not only god level, but also very, very underrated. So to start off, of course, we have tier 1, Calamity and DJ Yonder. Calamity easily deserves a 10, one of the best skins in this battle pass, a really awesome and underrated tier 1 skin. Same goes for DJ Yonder, so underrated. I'd probably give him around a 9. Not quite as strong as Calamity, but still a very, very good one. Then you got Fable, which, don't get me wrong, not a great Battle Pass skin by any means, but I do think it gets a little bit too much hate from some people, so I'm going to give her a 7. And then you got Giddy Up, which, not the best meme skin, but I don't think it's the worst meme skin either, so I'd probably give him around a 6. And then you got Dusk, which is actually, in my opinion, a very underrated skin. I started using this a little bit recently, and I do think she's actually pretty cool, so I'm going to give her an 8. And then you got Nightshade, which is actually probably the one skin in this battle pass that deserves all the hate that she gets. So I'm going to give her a 4. Just a very, very trash skin. And then you got Dire, which, if you know me, is one of my personal favorite tier 100 skins of all time. Gotta give him a 10. Just an awesome skin. And then finally you have Aim, the bonus skin, which I liked him more at the time, but looking back on it, they definitely could have done way better with that robot design, so I'm going to give him a 7. So, tally it all up, and then you get a final score of 7.625 out of 10 for Season 6, which places it here at number 10. Alright, and now for our number 9 entry, this is going to be Chapter 1, Season 3. So for starters, of course, you got the Mission Specialist, which is a 7 out of 10 in my eyes. Not great, but honestly not bad, especially since it got that extra style to put the visor down. And then you got the Rust Lord, which is a very iconic skin, and even though the X Lord is definitely way better, I would still say it's like an 8 out of 10. Really cool design with that one. Moonwalker, probably the same thing as Mission Specialist. I give that one a 7 as well. And then you got the Dark Voyager, which is my personal favorite skin in this battle pass. I give that one a 9. And then you got the Elite Agent, which is, first of all, way overrated and way too sweaty. But even so, I still think she's alright. I'd probably give her around a 7. And then you got the Reaper, which... But he hasn't aged particularly well, but even though he hasn't, I would still say that he's a pretty solid skin overall, so I give him a 9 out of 10 as well. So add up all those scores and then divide by 6 Battle Pass skins. That'll give you a final score of 7.83 out of 10 for Season 3, which places it here at number 9. Alright, and now for our number 8 spot, this is going to be Season 7, and in my opinion, this is probably where we're starting to get into, you know, the good, decent, and solid stuff. So, for Tier 1, we have 2 of the best Tier 1 skins of all time, which are Zenith and Lynx. Lynx, just an amazing, phenomenal skin. Obviously, that has got to get a 10 out of 10. And then, of course, you got Zenith, which, if you know me, you'll know he's my personal favorite Tier 1 skin of all time, so a very clear 10 for him as well. And then you got Powder, which... The main thing that bugs me about her is her boots, but if you can get past that, I personally think that she's actually an alright skin. Not the best, but, you know, she's decent, so I'll give her a 7. And then you got Sergeant Winter, which, in my opinion, is definitely an underrated skin. I actually do enjoy him, mainly for his llama head style. I actually think, you know, I'm a sucker for llama head skins. I think this one's a pretty good one, so I'm going to give him an 8. And then you got Trog, which is probably the one, like, terrible skin in this battle pass. I'm going to give him a 5, just... Again, a meme skin that really fell flat on his face. And then you got Onesie. This one was actually a little bit controversial because it was leaked ahead of Season 7. Probably shouldn't have been in the Battle Pass, but I still don't think aesthetically it's all that bad. I'm going to give her a 7 as well. And then you got the Ice King, which is just, you know, awesome Tier 100 with some awesome styles. I'm going to give him a 10. And then finally you have the Prisoner, which is, going to be honest, actually not one of my favorite secret skins. Probably going to give him a 6. And then when you add it all up and divide it by 8, that is going to give you a final average of 7.875 out of 10 for Season 7. And honestly, I would say this is probably like where we're starting to get into the worst of the good stuff. Alright, and now next up for number 7, this is going to be Chapter 2 Season 4, aka the Marvel season. I personally think this is actually a really strong battle pass. So of course, for Tier 1, you got Thor, which in my opinion is pretty underrated. I like the design of it with the space effect on his armor. I give him a 9 actually. And then you got She-Hulk, which is... Honestly, despite the fact that Jennifer Walters is very sweaty, I really enjoy the She-Hulk one. It's honestly becoming one of my personal favorite Marvel skins, so I give her a 9 as well. And then you got Groot, which, even though the character's cool, I'm really just not a big fan of the skin in the game, so I'm unfortunately going to have to give him a 6. And then next up we got Storm, which I'd probably give a 7. Just, you know, kind of an average Marvel skin. Nothing bad, but nothing that blows me away. Then you got Doctor Doom, which is gotta be a 10. I mean, he's my personal favorite Marvel skin in the game. Then you got Mystique, which is probably one of the stronger skins in this battle pass. I actually really like her. I'm gonna give her an 8. Then you got Iron Man, which is, I mean, you know, he's awesome. It's freaking Iron Man. Gotta go for a 10 with him as well. And then you got Wolverine, which is, again, kind of another just more average Marvel skin. So I'm going to give him a 7. And after tallying up all those scores, you get an average of 8.3 out of 10 for Chapter 2 Season 4's final score. And that places it here at number 7. Alright, now moving on to our number 6 spot. This is actually, ironically, going to be Chapter 2 Season 6. So, starting off with Tier 1, of course, we got Agent Jones. I'd probably give him a 7 out of 10. A decent Jonesy skin with some pretty cool styles. Then you got Lara Croft, which is actually my personal favorite Gaming Legends series skin in the game. So, I'm going to give her an 8. Then you got Tirana, which I don't like her base style, but when you get the Enlightened styles, I think she actually looks really good with those. So, I give her an 8 as well. Then you got Roz, which, of course, it's got to be a 10. I mean, 6 skin, 6 styles. Gotta love him. And then you got Cluck, which is probably the weakest skin in this battle pass. I give him a 6. Then you got Rebirth Raven, which is another 10 out of 10 for me. My personal favorite DC skin in the game. Then you got the Spire Assassin, which is, again, gonna be a 10 out of 10. Another awesome tier 100 skin. And then finally you got Neymar Jr., which is just an amazing Icon Series skin. I'm gonna give that one a 9. And so, add it all up, and you get a final score of 8.5 out of 10, which is gonna land it right here at number 6. Right, everyone, now cracking into the top 5, I gave this one to Season 8. Honestly, I would say this is a pretty underrated battle pass. However, when it first came out, I actually didn't like it at the time, and I really don't understand why. So obviously at Tier 1, you got 2 amazing skins, Blackheart and Hybrid. Both of those are getting 10 out of 10. And then you got Sidewinder, which I would say is actually pretty solid. I'd probably give that one an 8. Then you got Peely, which, well, he's not my kind of skin just because, you know, I'm not really a huge fan of meme skins. I'd probably still give him a 7. He's an iconic character. And then you got Ember, which is my personal favorite skin in this battle pass and one of my favorite female skins in the game. It's got to be a 10 for her. Then you got Master Key, which is, again, one that's not the best, but it's still solid. And then you got Lux, which is actually probably the weakest skin in this battle pass for me, and honestly just should never have been a tier 100. I'd probably give her a 6. And then you got Ruin, which is, again, another pretty underrated skin. Honestly, I would probably give him a 9. So then, add it all up and then divide it by 8 skins in total. That's going to give you a final score of 8.5 out of 10 for Season 8, which is just barely enough to give it a spot in the top 5. Alright, and now moving on to our number 4 spot. This is going to be Chapter 2, Season 3. Again, another very phenomenal battle pass. So, we're starting off at Tier 1 with Fade, which is already a phenomenal skin. Definitely my favorite drift type skin in the game. Gotta be a 10 for him. And then you got Ocean, which is probably my least favorite skin in this battle pass, but that doesn't mean it's necessarily bad. So, I'll probably give her a 7. And then the next 3 skins are all going to be 8 out of 10, which are Scuba Jonesy, Jules, and Kit. Every single one of those 3 is, I would say, solid. Then you got Siona, which is actually a very underrated skin, if you ask me. I'd probably give her a 9. Definitely one of the cooler astronaut skins we have in the game. And then you got the Eternal Knight, which has to be a 10. One of the best Knight skins in the game. And then you got Aquaman, which is a really strong DC skin. Probably give that one a 9. And then add it all up, and then the final score for Chapter 2 Season 3 adds up to be 8.625 out of 10, which places it right here at number 4. Alright, next up for our number 3 entry, I'm going to give this one to Season 9. And honestly, I say this battle pass is so phenomenal simply because of the 4 legendary progressive skins that really elevate it to the next level for me. So starting off, we have Rox, a phenomenal tier 1 skin. I absolutely love it with a sick design. Gotta give her a 10. Same thing for Sentinel. It's just such a great tier 1 skin. Has to be a 10 for me. And then you got Bunker Jonesy, which is probably, in my opinion, the weakest skin in this battle pass. I'm gonna have to give him a 6. And then next up, you have Vega, Stratus, and Demi. I'm gonna group these 3 together. I'll probably give them all an 8. Definitely solid. Not the best, but they're alright. And then you got Vendetta, which one of the most underrated tier 100 skins of all time. Gotta give him a 10. And then finally you have Singularity, which is an awesome bonus skins. One of the best we've ever seen. Gotta give her a 10 as well. So when you tally it all up, it gives it a final score of 8.75 out of 10, which lands it right here at the number 3 position. Alright, and now moving on to our number 2 spot. This is going to be Season X or Season 10. This one just absolutely incredible. Starting off, of course, you got Catalyst, a really awesome rehash of the original Drift skin, and I would actually say I prefer it to Drift. Gotta give that one a 10. Then you got the X-Lord, which is definitely a much better improvement over the original Rust Lord, and the original Rust Lord's not even that bad. I'm gonna give that one a 9. Then you got Tilted Technique, which is definitely better than that's original counterpart. Probably give that one an 8. And then you got Yonder, which, although I don't prefer him to the original, I still think he is solid. Gotta give that one a 9. Then you got Sparkle Supreme. I would say a 9 out of 10 for her as well. And then you got the Eternal Voyager. 10 out of 10 for him, and honestly, I'd say he deserves legendary status. And then you got Ultimate Knight, my personal favorite skin in this battle pass. Gotta give that one a 10 as well. An amazing tier 100 skin and my favorite Knight skin in the game. And then finally, you have the Scientist, which is probably the only bad-ish skin in this battle pass. I mean, it's not the worst, but it's definitely far from the best too. So then you average all those scores up and you get a final score of a solid 9 out of 10. I mean, that's literally saying every skin in this battle pass on average is a 9. That just goes to show how amazing this battle pass really is. Alright, but then finally, closing off our list, at the number 1 spot, I could not give it to anything else. It's going to have to be Chapter 2 Season 5. Without a doubt, my personal favorite battle pass of all time. I absolutely love this. Starting off, of course, you have Mandalorian, which is just a phenomenal crossover skin. Gotta give him a 10. Just an absolutely amazing Star Wars skin. Definitely the best Star Wars skin in the game for me. And then you got Reese, which is, I would say, a pretty underrated skin. I give her a 9. I genuinely think, like, pretty much everything in this battle pass altered this slightly. This could have been, like, an awesome, legendary, progressive tier 1 skin. And then you got Mancake, which, you know it's saying something when I say this is probably my least favorite skin in this battle pass. That just goes to show how strong the battle pass is, because I still think, like, even though he's the weakest, he's still a very strong meme skin and one of my personal favorite meme skins. So I'm probably going to give him an 8. And then you got Maeve, which is, again, very solid, and honestly, just alter it slightly. It could have been an awesome, like, tier 1 skin of some sort. Probably going to give her a 9. Then you got Condor, which is my personal favorite skin in this battle pass and one of my favorite skins of all time. That has got to have a 10. And then you got Lexa, which is, I mean, same thing as all the other stuff. Gotta give her a 9. Just an amazing battle pass skin. And then you have Menace, the tier 100, which, again, gotta give it a 10. An awesome tier 100. And then finally you have Predator, which is my personal favorite crossover skin and my favorite bonus skin of all time. 10 for him too. So when you take all of the scores and then average them out, that's going to give you a final score of 9.375 out of 10 for Chapter 2 Season 5, which is just honestly mind-blowing to me. And that is the highest score we have seen so far, so therefore, it comes in at number 1. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please feel free to leave a big fat thumbs up and subscribe. That would be greatly appreciated. And don't forget to leave a comment down below. How would you rank all of the battle passes in Fortnite? I want to see you guys' opinions. But with that said, I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you all in the next one. Goodbye.